Say hi, everybody. So coming back here, I've been playing around with this with PCG. I'm very new at it, but it's just to get a rough idea. It's something I want to make in the future. So let's actually, I'll show you how. Well, I shouldn't make a tutorial on this, but whatever. So we're just going to go here to PCG graph, create empty, just code. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let's save somewhere. Double check. Okay, there it is. All right, so this is going to be what is your PCG map here. And just for fun, I'm going to make a basic landscape. But actually first, before I do anything, I want to double check. I'm going to make a new material before I do anything. So go through here, and where's my material? There we are. There's one more thing I want to work on. So go through here. Apparently there's nothing for slope. So for this one, I'm going to go to my mega scans. Let's go surface. And I'm probably going to use this. So let's do this. RORM. Normal. And our height. I'm probably going to have more of these layers, but we'll see. So let's go to landscape. I just want to see how this works. Create and sculpt. Let's fill layer and just sculpt just in case. Cool. I am actually curious. Sculpt just a little bit here. Brush size maybe 500. And I want to see how it looks on nanite. See if I need to adjust. Yeah, a little bit here. So I go to my material. Go to height. And our slope will be, let's put 0.1. Like that. I think that'll work. And that way, what I can do is can actually do a few things. So number one, let's say let's put in a mega scan, and let's see what a cliff will look like. It's not too bad, but I want to kind of get rid of that seam eventually. So if we if I have to sculpt it, I might, what I can do is kind of make sure our landscape here, so we go back to material. Just want to check the instance quickly. Yep. And let's see what the Megascans material will be. Okay, does have it, so let's just put in 195 195.255. Yeah, something like that. Let's check debug. Let's go 190. There we go. So it blends just a little bit. That's what I'm looking for. If I want to, I can have it kind of sharply blend. So leave the landscape here if I need to. If I want to paint, I probably can have like a rocky thing up here. So if I want to flatten it, obviously erosion. Okay. So you have some noise, but that's okay. All right. This is just me doing preparation for a potential project. I want to get all the landscaping stuff done, and just before I really do anything, this is just me doing like post-production. I won't actually do the actual set design until I'm completely ready. There's a few things I want to get beforehand. Yeah, my overall goal is to make this as good as I can, you know. Try to do quite a lot more, I guess. Alright, so let's just enable PCG. So let's actually make one here. Get that one we made. I'm going to call this landscape test. Now I did an experiment, so I'll probably go back and forth, see if I screwed it up or not. So input, output, we're going to ignore that. So I'm going to do world ray hit query, I think. And let's just double check and make sure I got it right. I don't remember much, so I'll put this to the side and have a look-see. Yep, got it right. So the first thing I did was I created something called a surface sampler. And then you would do something called a transform point. Actually, no, before that, density filter. And then let's do D. So if I put this here, oh, that's not it. That's my other one. Yeah, there we go. So transform point here would be something we're looking for. Now, let's say surface sampler. Let's do like 4. Not that, but let's go like 1 and 1 just to see. And this will give you kind of a rough idea. So this is just a debug to give you an idea what everything will look like. Now we see a bunch of stuff up here because of the because of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something called a difference. So I'm going to actually get rid of this. And this is going to be my source. And let's do density. There we go. Just kind of sort things out here. Kind of see it up here. It's kind of distracting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something called get volume data. And I'm going to do all world actors. And now originally I could do this by tag or class. I'll do class, and then I'm just going to do something called blocking. So blocking volume. And then finally, we're going to do volume sampler. Then difference. So if I created a basic blocking volume here, so we go down to volume, we call it blocking volume. You can see it's deleting a lot of the stuff up here. So if I don't want it affecting the rock, I could do that too. Yeah, there's other ways I could probably look into it a bit more. But let's say I don't want it to hit the rock or any of this area here. So the next thing would be, so we're done with that. That's debug. What I'm going to do is get, let's go look static mesh. So static mesh spawner is going to be what we have. So we go debug, or sorry. We're going to go to mesh entries. What I'm going to do is just find whatever the mega scan thing is. Let's do like wild grass, static mesh, and something like this here. So under descriptor, click on that, and if we put this in the end, and there we go, we got ourselves a pretty nice PCG. And, you know, I can always adjust. I wonder if I can actually change this to like convert something to like a blocking volume. Yeah. Probably can create like a spline or something. Turn that into a volume so I can block that. You know, this is just me. This is just the basic thing for me, so let's just create another one here. Just or something like that right there, so I wouldn't block it. Obviously, we want it to be here, so I'll have to look into like slopes and everything, like how to prevent that. I'm still new to it, so yeah. But it's not too bad, I think, for what it is. The other thing would be, let's find another one. Say I want to put a plant or another mesh. So you can go through here. This, like I said, I just don't think it's just me experimenting with this more. This is not, I wouldn't call this a tutorial here. Let's just use this so we can actually compare weight here. So, and at that point we can also use the density filter to kind of change it around a bit. And under transform points, I can actually do something called absolute rotation. So if we click on that, you know, not kind of, let's say it puts everything like up here. This is pretty useful for trees, honestly. Rotation, let's just do 360. Save that. So it's pretty useful for what it is. Actually, could I? Could I do it by tag? Actually, yeah, let me go and check here. This is just me experimenting. Let's make a tag. I'll call it grass block or something. And select multiple. Hey, I guess it doesn't work. All right. Let's do class, and then there has to be a way of doing it. And actually, what I did was, I'll show you what I did as soon as I get this blocking volume up and running. I had it set for multiple, so it wasn't working on one. So, you know, just in case you don't want it to be like this. You just want like small sections here. So if we needed to do something like that here, again. Eventually I'll have to see if I can create a spline or something, or work with that. So I'll need to look into more of this stuff, figuring out how to do splines. You know, that way I don't have to rely on a blocking volume all too much. I can just do splines and everything, so it prevents that entirely. And not like that, but if I want to do like a path, so I think that can work pretty well. Let's do one more. But yeah, this is just doing what I can here. I'm still new to it, so I'll do spline. I'll work with splines, making a few things here. I want pretty easy set design for what I'm doing. So doesn't look too bad too, you know. And of course, you know, the nice thing about PCG is we can actually expand it if we want to, but I have to get this LOD thing working. Yeah. Not bad. Sure, I can cover the whole landscape with it, but let's see. Yeah, let's go to PCG. Yeah, I still have a long way to go with it. Let's find out what I can use. Let's go with wheat. Let's see. Yeah, just increase the weight to like 40. We feel would be it. Man, I could actually. I have a couple ideas what to do with that, but the wheat's a little too much, so adjust it here to like 10. Maybe like 2 or something. Let's do 2. Or I can, yeah, let's just do a dandelion instead of wheat. I would definitely use this to make a wheat field. Definitely has potential. Yeah. The one thing I do wonder is like I can get like moss or something. But there's a lot of potential in this idea for me. You know, just in case. One thing I started to do is, if we go down here. I'll have to double check that one is right. But I can get a new blocking volume or something. Yeah, I need to look into and the proper blocking, you know. That tree is. I can just work with foliage or something. Alright, so the trees have their own parameter. I just use the one that was given, example. Plus I have a couple more trees to work with. If we go to mega trees, mega plants or whatever it's called, they have a whole bunch. Also got some here. Still haven't brought them all in because it's kind of a pain in the ass, but so if I need to create a little path, I can. I can. You know, I'm just doing this. Of course, I can always like put a path in here. I'll probably do that. Let's see if I have paint here. Just wonder what that paint is. Let's go with 50. Yeah. wouldn't hurt to get a blocking volume here. 150. Yep, that one didn't come with this. If I want to. Yeah, I'll have to look into like creating a spline for this, so that'll be for next time. I just wanted to get a basic blocking volume. I'm just working with basic blocking volumes here. Just something like that here. Yeah, I really should like do like a path here. So yeah, this would make a pretty good path. I just, yeah, it even has the we can even put like a boulder. I could just can do. Yeah, this has a lot of potential. First, actually, sorry, let's actually put something quickly because we have these really weird bends here. So if I go to procedural vegetation, there's like sample assets, materials, there's something called foliage ejector. There we go, and I can actually adjust the wind speed. So like 1. I'm gonna hide it just in case so it doesn't get in the way. Also, I can add quite a bit of trees, so I might add quite a few more. I can do like 1650. Get that really harsh shadow here. Yeah, might even add like a little puddle or something. So landscape. Let's do paint. Let's do a puddle layer here. And just for the sake of it, let's do 75. I probably can add my own. I can add my own layer, but just add a boulder. And for the sake of it, we'll just go to landscape. I'm going to sculpt it. Let's do the brush size to like 1,000. And let's sculpt. And I'll adjust just like that, you know. And if I need to, we can also adjust the trees. I can always add more, you know, I might add quite a few more. That's just kind of the fun thing. Are you working on a game? No, what I'm doing actually is I'm working on an animation in the future. I'm working on a project, so I'm just kind of trying to teach myself the basics again. You know, try to improve my set design and everything. So I'm learning how to properly get this rebuilt and trying to restart everything. You know, improve my set design. So I'm thinking like probably water here. So let's go to Fab, make scans. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Just want to mess around, just kind of get the basics. I always struggled with set design and everything on Unreal. I couldn't, especially for outdoor stuff, I could never get it working, so. So this is kind of like my opportunity to make something good with it. You know, try to improve on it. I can always use like landscape or foliage to improve on it, but still. Let's do this. Let's go with 120, 140, we're 255. There we go. That way it blends in. And if anything, I can actually just use foliage mode, you know, just paint what I need. So where is my sun coming from? The sun is coming from here. So let's put a rectangular light here. Gonna have it shine down a bit. Just want to give it a little bit more light. So we're dealing with at least 5,500. That's not too bad for what it is. And this stuff is mega scans, you know, all this texture stuff here. A lot of this you can find, and it's pretty good, I think. If we move it up here, but where's my blocking line? Can actually just move this here. Yeah, just something like that. And, you know, for the sake of it, just let's also make this movable. I'm going to adjust the light like this. Now, let's see. Yeah, you can tell it's a little too bright here, so let's just turn it down to like 50. Then you got that nice displacement here. And we can always move it here if we need to. Always move the sky. Depends. Now let's see. Let's go to engine. Look up something called water. There's a few ways of doing this, but I don't think that's it. One second, I just want to double check something. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so if we do something similar, let's just put a plane in. If we put our test in, we get this nice little fade effect here. So let's adjust color. So what I need to do is let's make a material instance. Just double check here. That can work. Instead of blue, get this nice clear effect here. I think that's a little bit more realistic. Plus, I can adjust the fade if I need to. So with the fade water here, I'll show you. We'll just go back. Let's do like dark blue. Okay. Fade is this. I just had to double check. There was a tutorial that covers it pretty well. Oh, just me experimenting here. There we are. Nice little puddle. I think that'll work pretty well. Yeah. No, there's no underwater thing, but turn that. And the PCG here. I could always put another rock in them. I will. I'll be putting another one in here. Just like this. Oops. Boom. Just do space. There we go. That looks pretty decent for what it is. No, let's put more trees in. Yeah, let's go 1400. Let's see. Add more trees here. A lot of this stuff is, if we can't get the mega scans, there's other textures and everything you can work with. And the water you can actually get for free, it's included with Unreal. You just have to make adjustments. There are some things that some plugins and stuff like that, but let's see. Let's go through here. Trees. It's a new property. I don't know what that is. Let's add in. One of these. Now it's going to prepare for a bit. Yeah, it's just loading up, so yeah, I forgot to add that. And eventually, what you can do is you can make like a forest out of it. I have to know how to interact with one PCG with another, so it doesn't like overwrite. This could be kind of fun. We could work on a couple of things here. I have an idea. Could definitely make something very interesting out of this. I have a few ideas here. Come on. Yeah, you can get this under the mega plants here. What is going on here? Yeah, I'm just gonna be patient for a second. Yep. Yeah, I could just build like a simple set here. This is just me preparing for a Western. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making like a small western, but let me just pull up Epic quickly. Are we done? Okay, we're done with that. I'm actually curious. Let me check my fab library here. We could go and make a scene or something later on. I can do a bunch of these western these little sets here. See what we come up with. Ooh, this could be an interesting one. Just thinking what I can come up with design. I have several ideas what to do. Ooh, this one could be really interesting. We can, yeah, we'll have to make some of these here. And then we got Ivy too, which we can put on. That definitely can. We can work on like do things like something post-apocalypse here. Use PCG. You know, if I want to make like a landscape or something. That could be something I could do. So I've been meaning to just kind of go into more set design here and trying to make it a lot easier for myself. That's why I've been putting off PCG for a while. Oh. But I gotta kick my own butt and get that done. Not too bad for what you can do. Not too bad. Let's just set it to like 0.5. Let's also see what we have. Definitely have potential here. Let me go create something quickly. Let's do another PCG. Bear with me. There we go. Turn it debug, see what that looks like. Not bad. And then you know, I could do like that, but and you know, transform point. Yeah, let's do like 5. 15. Of course, we can work with that here. Okay. And we have something like that here. And if I wanted to, we can always expand it just like that. What PCG is. My problem is like we'll have to like remove some, but it's not bad. Not a bad way here. Yeah, of course, you know, if we see something, since I didn't apply a blocking volume to the beehives here, we can just do something like that. Of course, we'll have to worry about LED detail. So maybe let's adjust that, but not that, but we can also, let's actually, well, let's add a couple more here. A couple more plants. Yeah, a little bit more variety. Let's do something like this here. You know, I can always find flowers here through the Fab Marketplace. That's what I'm probably going to be doing with this set here. So, yeah, I'll probably find a river or something, make like a, do like a river here, make a river, have some rocks. And then some trees here. I have a few ideas what to go with in here. I can make a path. This has a lot of potential too, you know. Of course, once I get my materials all fixed. Get that situated, I think we'll be good to go. Anyway, yeah, I'm probably gonna call it a night, so yeah, thanks guys for watching. If anyone, I think this is kind of fun. You know, this place said this is new for me. It just kind of shows what we can do. I like to do like a little scattering thing with rocks, like putting the rocks in. Probably no. See, this has a lot of great potential here. Anyway, well, let me know if you have any questions. There's plenty of great tutorials on PCG. Stuff like this is on Mega Scans here. So, yeah, thank you.